good to have a spot for your bananas. That has to be one of the most difficult things in here, is just having places for like produce or something. I don't know, it would get bruised really easy just rolling around in a bowl. So these actually work pretty awesome. So unfortunately, the topic of today's video isn't about banana hammocks, but instead is about financing an RV, truck, camper, or van. So I guess a bit of a disclaimer with this. Everyone's in different situations, and now what this video is about is just information for people and someone looking into getting into this. And I know they're looking at that 20-year financing period for a brand new one, and there's a lot of reasons why you might not want to do that. But like I said, everyone's in their own situation, and I don't condone anyone for doing that or anything like that. By all means, I've thought about it. I'm sure a lot of people have thought about it, but I'm going to show you guys why it might not be that attractive going into that, and how you might be able to get the best bang of your buck from these tips. So how does financing work for RVs? Well, you can finance an RV so long as it's under 10 years old. I believe there's probably other ways around that, but I don't know if you'd want to do that. Usually the depreciation's so bad that after 10 years, you could probably save up enough just to pay cash for it, which is the best bet. Now, for anyone financing something, let's say 2 years old, basically you'd go in, if it's at a dealership, and say, hey, I want to buy that. They'd be like, cool, you set the price, and then basically, yeah, you go in the finance department and they're going to give you options. And I believe if it's brand new, you can get 20 years. If it's not brand new, I think it's more commonly to get around like 10 to 12 years, maybe 15, something like that. But you can also go for a lot less time, which would be like 60 months. You could even just do a year if you really wanted to. With that being said, unless for some reason you get 0% financing, you're going to have an interest rate on it, and that's where it catches you. Is with each payment that comes out, you're going to get dinged with that interest. So usually the interest rate can be, from what I've seen on a used RV, probably 6 to 8%. On a new one, maybe 5. I think I've seen an ad for someone's offering an Arctic Fox with 2.99, but that's brand new. A brand new one, you're going to get a much lower interest rate, but you're also going to pay a lot more. And usually an RV loses about 20 to 35% of its value as soon as you take it off the lot. Buying one that's like a year or two old might actually be a better bet, just because you can avoid having to pay that extra money for it just because it's brand new. I'll show you guys what the interest rate's going to do to you. So what you're seeing here is the RV price is $60,000. Down payment is nothing. I'm going to say it was 0 down. Years, let's see. Let's go with 20 years on 60,000. Let's see. Interest rate, let's say you got it for a smoking deal of 5.99%, or just 5%. Now, if you look at it, your loan amount is $60,000. Your payment is $395 per month. Yes. Total paid though, with a 5% interest over 20 years, $95,000. Now, if you want to know how much of that didn't go towards your RV and just went towards your loan, $35,033.63. Okay, let's go back into that and say, let's like really good, like 2.99. It's still $20,000 in, yeah, just about $20,000 in interest just off of that loan. Now, by all means, most people, they won't have that camper for 20 years, or they're going to pay it off early. One of the two. But to think that, I mean, if that's the case, why not just save a bit, put a down payment on it, and go with a lower amount of years. That's probably the smarter way if you're going to go through financing. I guess the best way to do it, I would say, is buy something 5 years old, has taken that hit in the market already. Like, what is it? I just seen a Northern Light 9.6 for $55,000, and it's a 2020. Now these Northern Lights, they hold their value like crazy, and the only ones you'll see for like lower, like 10,000, 15,000 area is probably a 90s one, which this one's a 90s one. It's still in great shape. So if you were to get an RV for, let's say you bought that RV for $55,000, private sale, no taxes, you financed it for, well, I'll put it into here. Let's see what happens. So we're going to say $55,000. You financed it for 5 years. Your interest rate was, because it's used, it's going to be higher. So we're going to say 8%. We'll just go really high. So total paid is $66,912. Cost of the loan is $11,912. That's a lot better. Now, by all means, $12,000 for interest isn't great. By all means, it just goes to show these, like, an RV loan is not. That's so much interest. That's $12,000. That's like $12,000 is a lot of fun. A lot of fun you could have had rather than worrying about the place you sleep in. And I battle with this too. I'd like a nicer camper some days. I do not like how this dinette's set up. I do not like how certain things are in here. But the thing's paid for and it works really good and it's functional. Will I be in it forever? No. I'll probably switch to something else eventually as money will allow it. But I can say this much, either it'll be a very small loan or it will be no loan at all. So that being said, if you're going to do a new one, I'd say put 20% down. And then at least you're not going to have to worry about if you needed to, like, all of a sudden something happened where you cannot use that RV anymore and you need it out of your life. You can just sell it like that, get your money back out of it. Well, you're not totally, but you're not backwards on a loan. You don't have, like, you're able to pay off that loan. Obviously, you're out 20 grand. You're out of your down payment that you put on it originally. But in the case that of what happened, you're able just to get rid of it and get rid of that payment. I do think the best way to go about this is go on the cheaper end and find a older RV that's in good shape. I'm not saying this old, but like if you found something that was like a 2010. Now most Northern Lights that I've seen around the 2010, and this is all in Canadian dollars, by the way, but most Northern Lights around 2010 will be going between about 25,000 to about 40,000. That's what I've seen on the market right now in 2024. Wow, that's crazy. I don't think 40,000. Don't pay 40,000 for a 2010. I just seen one for 22 that was but they were asking way under market value from what I've seen. But if you want something cheaper like this one, like these, like I paid, I think it was, yeah, 9,800 for this. And that was 2 years ago. Like, yeah, and it works awesome. Like these, like they hold their value, but they work all the way until now. Like there's no leaks, no nothing. Like, yeah, the fiberglass shelves, they're worth it, but yeah, you're gonna pay for it. Something like Arctic Fox, I've seen those recently. I seen a 2013 for 35. That was an 811, and I've seen like you got back into like 07s and stuff, and I've seen them for even lower than that. You can find newer ones. I would call newer like over 2010 and up. I would call it a newer one. I mean, it's still 14 years old, I guess. Oh my jeez. Some days I feel like I'm getting old. Let's get honest about this. I think your best bet is going to be find a 5-year-old RV, put a large down payment on it, and then pay it off as quick as you can. Or better yet, just pay cash. Especially if you're going to be living in these. Like, I know a lot of people say, well, it's different for you. You could take out like a mortgage type thing. The difference between an RV loan and a mortgage is 90% of the time, the house, an actual sticks and bricks house, goes up in value. RVs don't. They go down in value. This is a depreciating asset. If you are going to live in it, no matter what, it still is a depreciating asset, no matter how much of a home it is to me and how much it means to me. It's still depreciating, and it's someday not going to be worth a lot. That's with anything basically on wheels. They're just like that. Now, if you're looking into doing this and your only affordable way of doing it is to do the 20-year loan or something, then, like I said, do a large down payment on it. That's probably your best bet about it, I think. I only got into looking at this because I was kind of curious to see like what does financing one look like for like 20 years or something. And once I seen what the interest on it was, I was like, oh, okay, it doesn't feel good. And I think the biggest thing with that, with the 20 years, is I think most people trade up or they sell it before the term is up. I've had vehicle payments, but I've never had one like, I've always taught myself to never buy anything and take it out for more than 5 years. And I've always bought used because of the depreciation for stuff. As soon as it comes off the lot for new stuff. I don't know. I get hard on myself about that too. And right now I try to just be the guy that just pays cash for everything. Because quite honestly, like that, how do I put it? That payment, it comes after you like every month. And it's just another expense on it's just another expense that's stopping you from doing what you want. Not to mention, it makes it so, like if you're at a job that you don't like, payments keep you coming back. In my situation, I guess. If I'm at a job I don't like, and I had a payment on, let's say, this truck camper that was like $500 a month, I need to make sure I have some sort of income coming in just to pay for this thing. I soon realized when I had my Jeep Wrangler, I only had it out for 5 years. I bought it with 30,000 K on it, but I soon realized I was putting enough K on it that by the time I was going to have it paid off, it was actually going to be at 200,000 kilometers on it. And I was like, that's basically the life of this Jeep. I'm going to start having like lots of issues. Like, not big issues, but like a lot of like big maintenance items are going to come up. And let's face it, the 3.6 liter Pentastar engine doesn't last very well. I've heard that a lot. I didn't want to have it and basically pay off something and then have to get into another loan. Like, that's how people get into these cycles with that. It's like you buy something, you get into a loan with it, and then you just keep driving it, and then once it's paid off, all of a sudden you realize, well, I kind of want a new truck because this one's wore out. So you just get back into another loan, and it's a bad cycle. This lifestyle is about cheaper living. That's what it is. If I buy another camper, it will not be on a 20-year loan. It will not be on a 10-year loan. I really hope it's not on a 5-year. I hope it's not on a loan at all. I hope I'm not in a situation where I need one that bad that I have to go into a loan. I am leaning more towards, if I want a new layout for a truck camper, I will be going and paying cash for it. Because this lifestyle has allowed me to be able to save cash like that because I don't have any debt. And going into debt and taking that great part away from my life, well, it would make this lifestyle kind of pointless. other than like the freedom and everything else like that. But like the idea with just not having debt is just a lot better. That's my opinion. If you want to go into a 20-year loan on something and you're just doing it and you don't really care about the interest, by all means do it. I'm not going to stop you. I just told you what the interest is going to be like, but maybe you'll get lucky and get 0% financing on a 20-year loan. I'm rooting for you. But I don't think that happens anymore. Definitely remember that the idea with this life is to go into it and do it cheaper. It's to get away from basically, well, that's just another, debt is like when I had my house here, and it always kept me here because I had to take care of the house. I had to continue to pay off the house. I had to make sure I had a job to pay for the house. And now I don't have that house anymore, and I'm able to just go out and live my life, do what I want. And it's because I don't have that debt anymore. It's because I don't, like, I'm a lot happier to go to my job now because I'm doing it on my terms. I'm not doing it on anyone else's. I'm not doing it because I have to. I'm doing it because I want to. I'm doing it for other goals. I'm doing it for, like, it's just, I'm not talking down to anyone that is in debt and doing this. I'm just doing awareness for people that haven't, this video is for people that might be looking into like going out and getting a RV, and they're seeing that 20-year finance and they're like, well, is there any negatives about it? Because we all know the salesman's not going to tell you that. I'm just here to tell you, you're going to pay a lot of interest. So for my Canadian viewers, which is not as many as American, I know that, but you should be able to find the same calculator similar to one I was using. This one's the Canadian Recreational Vehicle Association RV loan calculator. My American friends, you should be able to find some more ones similar online, and basically you type in the price, how much you're putting down, and your interest rate, and you'll be able to know what you're going to be paying in interest by the end of that loan. I'd recommend doing that because you see the price and then you like see that and you're kind of just like, it makes you step back for a minute and makes you think twice about, like, do I really want to leverage myself this much for a RV? Now, the people going into this and they're going to be full-time, and this is basically your life now. Depending on your savings, you can go out there and you can buy a really good truck camper for, you could get a Northern Light, like a early 2000s Northern Light for under 30. I just seen one there's one local here for 26. It's a 9.6, but like they're asking too much. Let's be honest. At most that thing's worth maybe 20, and that's because it's an 06, and if it's in mint condition. But yeah. Get whatever works for your budget. Honestly, the fiberglass shell ones are awesome, but Lance, Arctic Fox, they're awesome too. I say those brands because that's what I see all the time around my area. There's probably a lot more other awesome brands out there. It's just I don't know about them as much. You should be able to find an RV or a truck camper for a decent price used. And I wouldn't be so reluctant to buying a used RV. To definitely look through it. And if you can, see if you can get it inspected. Might cost you a little bit extra to get it inspected, but that's a nice peace of mind. And you'll know better. Not to mention, if the guy says you're not allowed to get it inspected, then you know it's not a good RV. So sometimes you can just call their bluff, right? This lifestyle is pretty awesome. If you're definitely wanting to try it, I still would say not to go into debt for it. Definitely try to save some money and save up for it. And that's my advice to you guys. Other than that, anyone just getting in it to take out the family or whatnot, then yeah, do whatever you can afford. Do whatever makes sense to you, and trust your gut. Now don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.